now we've all heard what the Premier had to say this morning, so let's go live now to Nick Bontis at the DeGroote School of Business for his take on some of the most recent data that we've processed over the last few stories. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Good. Well, listen, first of all, the jobless rate, 0.2% up to 6%. That sounds like a fairly big jump. Is this as bad as it seems, or are there some specific regional issues that are skewing these numbers? We heard, of course, that Alberta was one of the, and BC, two of the provinces that are skating out of this thing with rather unscathed.
Well, we need to remember that this ratio is made up of two numbers. One, of course, is the number of jobs, and the other number that's critical is the number of people looking for jobs. And it seems that this particular metric, excuse me, is being affected by the increased number of people that are looking for a job. So it's not as if that we have significant job loss per se. In terms of regional differences, absolutely, Alberta and BC seem to be very, very hot, so there's definitely differences regionally across the country. And I'm also intrigued by the RBC report in terms of the slowing down of our economy. Last year, our economy grew at 2.7%. Our economy predicted to only grow at 1.6% this year. When those types of predictions come out, what ends up happening is employers also pull back on the number of job postings that they deliver, so that also has an impact on the unemployment rate.
Nick, let's bring it home here. How are things looking in the Hamilton, Halton, Niagara area specifically?
Well, I got good news and bad news. The bad news is that Ontario is actually higher than the Canadian unemployment rate. Canada's about 5.9%, Ontario's 6.4%. The good news is that Hamilton, Halton, Niagara are actually significantly lower than the rest of Ontario and on par with the rest of Canada. So we're actually doing some good things in our particular region. And it also goes to show you that we're slowly moving away from the manufacturing sector focus to more knowledge-intensive industries. So that transition is happening okay.
Nick, you just touched on the housing market. Let's talk a little further about that today, because the Royal Bank, or Royal LePage, I should say, described a healthy, stable market with respect to real estate. What's your take on that statement?
Well, the reason why real estate's doing okay is because we've got high immigration rates, a lot of new people looking for homes. We have low interest rates, which makes the mortgages affordable. And again, there's regional differences across the country, too. Saskatchewan housing prices went up 66% in 12 months. Unbelievable. Newfoundland went up 20%. And then on the flip side, if you recall, we did a story last year where Edmonton was the hottest city in the country. And now this year, Edmonton housing prices are going down. So like anything else, what must go up, must come down. I've also heard from some real estate agents just here in the Hamilton area that one of the big reasons why perhaps some sales may have slowed in this community is actually a record snowfall. It's very difficult for people to go to open houses when we have streets that are blocked with high piles of snow, and I understand that that record snowfall impacted not only southern Ontario and Quebec as well. So as we continue in through spring with the rain and the snow melts, hopefully open houses will generate the traffic they need to convert into sales.
Yeah, and of course people want to get it done now because of the 90-day closing thing. Kids going to school in the fall, they want to get it done in April or May, so big months coming up. Nick Bontis, you have a great weekend, and thanks for this information today.
All right, you too, Dan.